Alright. Come on, man. I'll be up and running in just one moment. Sorry for the delay. I think we're on you. Yep, okay. Cool.
In 2021. What the? What?
All right, let's get started. Let me get started right now. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try to. Hello, welcome to the show, everybody. It's thank you. Hi, how you doing? It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide. Sorry about the delay. I had a longer than usual FaceTime with the fam because I didn't get to fly out yesterday. And don't get me started. It's a long, emotional, personal story that is, frankly. Obviously, I have no problem discussing it on a one-to-one with a lot of you. I think I have in person at shows and stuff, but on the interwebs, and my timing should be okay. Maybe redo your page or something like that. Okay, lots to cover. CSL real quick. In the in one of the clips, there was this thing about bird flu, and I don't think the clip corresponds to that title or whatever. Some Americans must exert some caution clip earlier today. I think it's a different clip or whatever. If you have that one, I would love to see it. If that's around, that's a thing. Before let's see if I can get. I guess it will open up on my Substack on this thing there. I just put out a Substack post. I'm trying to be productive in these crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. And I posted it. Let's see. There you go. Whoops. Quit it. There's a. Okay, cool. Hopefully it opens to that. Oh, wherever you're at. Let's see. Sign in the password. Keep signing. Oh shit. My thing on there. I think I could do this. Download this. I already have that. I want to sign in on here. And then maybe do it this way. Maybe that's how you do it. I love two-factor authentication. It's one of my favorite things. Let's see if this will do it. Right there. Come on, you. Grab it. There you go. All right. Open that sucker up. That should sign me into it? Nope. Okay, maybe not. All right, you big jerk. The page is private. Okay, fine. I'm trying to open it here. Why is my keyboard not lighting up? What's wrong with you? Okay, and they sent me a little thingy, and I will be able to sign into the thingy with the thingy, and then show you guys this real quick. I was working on it I was very proud of it. Let's see. Come on, you. Come on, you rat ya. Let's see. Gonna try to sign in Japan. It should send it. Okay. Click the link inside or enter the code below. All right. Shareable assets for your thing. Let's job it up. Come on, man. Don't give me the whole thing. Give me the actual, is that it? Nope. Why in the world would it take any time at all? I don't understand. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. There we go. Whoops. Get in here, you rat. Think that should do it. There we go. Yay, we're in. Okay, now I can set. Let's see, home. Go down to here. The postages. Let's maybe I guess just go to my main page. Is it? Yeah. There we go. And we'll click on this guy. So yeah, now I can show it to you. That's fun. All right. Whew. All this work, chat room. I just posted this on my Substack, and I want to thank Rob Glenn for helping me work through this a little bit. He had some really good notes, and I incorporated a huge chunk of them. And then I posted it on here to kind of like, crowdsource a response from folks. So if it's just halsparks.substack.com, and that'll take you to the page or whatever. And it's free to sign up and all that kind of stuff. But I drafted this piece of legislation. I've been working on it for a little while. And like I said, he broadened a couple of these things. But I believe this type of legislation, while it may not have any hope of passing in the House, although I have my thoughts about that. I'm a little more hopeful than I might even let on that at least in the performative nature of free speech and all that shit and anti-big tech that might be going around, there might be a window even in this Congress to get this through. But we shall see what we shall see. At the very least, and on the state level, I think it does have some teeth, and it shouldn't be that difficult, I would think, to have some similar set of legislation in the same way that Utah can outlaw porn or porn sites or stuff like that. Then you should also be able to outlaw fake sites or fake accounts or any of that stuff. So I drafted this legislation. I've been tinkering at it for a little while. I've been trying to run it up against, see if it's got any holes in it that I can see, any loopholes that could be created by it. And so I decided that after I think I've covered most of those bases, putting it up there so people could give notes on it as well, or quite frankly, cut and paste it and share it with their congressional representative or their state or what have you. So I popped that up on there. Feel free to have a look. I did not make it behind a paywall because I'm a mensch and because I actually believe in what I'm fucking doing. So if you want to support and subscribe and I don't even know what I would put behind a paywall on my Substack. You know how I am. I'm an open book with you guys. So if you want to subscribe that way, it's up to you, but you don't have to. You can do it for free. And because I think this has value and I would like you to share it about. Yeah. So there you go. So I created this. I also I'm working on a post right now on that sort of explains the current anti-immigrant stuff and its alignment with the technological changes in the 40s and 50s. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, CSL. Yeah, that's exactly. Is that the? Oh, I probably just got to watch for that earlier. Dr. Marshall has exert some caution mid bird flu. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, this is super fucking telling. Great. So, anyways, that right out of the gate, today's show is brought to you by you, I guess. So, if you want to support the work, please do. If you can't or whatever, it doesn't matter. The work needs to go on regardless. So, share this Substack out or just fucking, I don't care. Cut and paste the text of the document and claim it as your very own. Pretend you wrote it. I give a shit. The important thing is that if it can be passed in any state, it can be passed in every state. And therefore, we all need to do that from all. Did you get AI to help you write it? In some places, yes, I had it check against California law. That's the only thing I did. I got the structural framework for the bill from like a website that says how to write a bill. And I've had that for a while. And so I used the outline in Pages, in Apple Pages, just to write it out. And then I would do a draft of a piece of it. And then I would go, is this languaging good enough or whatever? And then it would go, you might want to, you might not want to. And so filled out, parts of it, trying to find holes in what I had seen. Right. So it was a mix of those things. Right. California ballot referendum. I wouldn't see it as a ballot referendum. I think it should be just a straight up piece of past legislation. If it doesn't go that way, then I think a ballot referendum would be a great way to go because it wouldn't really cost anything. It would be one of those digital things. So if it fails to make its way through, I think the normal order of things, getting a ballot referendum might be the way to do it. And that will be my fallback position if you can't just get it in as a piece of regular legislation. So anyways, that's me. So I put that on my Substack. Take a look, if you will, if you want, if you don't, and such as that. And let's say hi to the chat room real quick. Welcome to the show. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. Good morning, good day, and good afternoon. I hope you're having a lovely time. It's very rainy here. Chat room in Las Vegas. It's also there's one of those atmospheric rivers that's it's split off into an atmospheric creek, I guess, and headed our way. And today was the day I was supposed to go out and open up the panel that they added to our solar system and set up all the technical things that link it to the home kit stuff that I have in the house. I was nerding today. I was going to nerd this afternoon, and I had to find another way to nerd. So I've been nerding a lot. So I couldn't do that today because I just don't think it's a good idea when it's raining to stand in a puddle and work on electric things outside. I don't know why I would. So there you go. That said, let's see. I want to throw this in here. See if we can open up this. All right. You know, I think if I'm how do we phrase this? Let's say, okay, if I was looking for a mission statement phrase that would explain the current Republican, majority in the House and the Senate, and certainly in the White House, the nice version of it would be, "You're on your own, assholes." But I think in some ways it should just be like, "Fuck you, America. Half of you have overstayed your welcome." That seems to be the plan, and I'll show you what I mean. So why are egg prices so high? Is it because of oil prices? Because we stopped a Canadian pipeline? No. Is it because of money printer go burr? Because we printed too much fucking money during the blah, blah, blah. Right. No, it's not. Not at all. My volume is fluctuating. Check. It seems to be, maybe is there a compressor on this vocal? That's messing it ain't. All right, maybe if I turn this off. I apologize if the audio gets weird in the middle of this. Hopefully it's not too hot. Too hot lady. Let me know. Mic check. 1, 2. Check. Because I think there was I don't know why the limiter would be on this friggin' thing or where it would come from, but I think we're all right. I'm going to bring this down a touch. And then hopefully, check. There you go. That seems to be very hot. Okay. Something like that? Hopefully. All right. Fingers crossed. Let me know. In the meantime, if I may, Mike was fine. Oh, all right. Yeah. I mean, apparently on one of the sites, it's having an issue. I don't know. Maybe it goes through it. Maybe it's a restream thing. Maybe some sites just are messing with me because they don't like what I have to say. I'm being shut down by the derp state. All right. Can't be the deep state because I am the deep state. You're welcome. Anyways, so let me show you this. Crazy lady and eggs. Americans, this is on Fox. Americans must exert some caution amid bird flu, rheumatologist says. Now, a rheumatologist. I'm going to guess that this lady would qualify in the current vernacular as, what's the word? Expert. As an expert on eggs. She's an expert. Ew, sorry, that's wrong. She's an expert on egg spurt. No, she, I think it's fascinating that now Fox is like, listen to your experts on these things. We're going to bring a lady on who knows about these things, and she's going to tell you what to do, right? Which is what, again, what they talk about. Hold on. Chickens. So I need to get a recording of my mom going, chickens? It's a running joke that's been in my family since I was a boy. I know, I still am. I get it. All right. Yes. So in this particular instance, I'm pretty sure there's more than 5 eggs in this situation, but I can't be sure. All right. Now, that's a lot of chickens. Chickens. American, let's just watch it. Fuck me. I'm just going to keep chattering through this, aren't I?
Bird flu spreading across America, reducing the egg supply and causing their prices to skyrocket. While the Centers for Disease...
Fuck you guys. This is what happened last time. Now this is the story on Fox. This is the fucking story on Fox. Why did I become a chicken right at that moment? And this has been why egg prices have been fluctuating or going up over the last couple of years, period. But now Fox News is doing an entire, look at this. Now they're talking about, now a warning, since February 2022. 138 million birds infected with bird flu. Now they're doing fucking stories about it. Before it was because gas prices or some shit. Now they're like, I don't know if you've heard about this avian flu thing. Motherfucker.
Control says it doesn't look like there's any risk to the public. 68 people have been confirmed sick, and one
but they're not public people. These were private people, and
of those patients died. Let's bring in Dr. Masa Tehrani, a board-certified rheumatologist. So there's...
excuse me, I don't need no expert on expert. I'm gonna do my own research, and I don't have to worry about it. I have Safeguard, your horse butt syringe full of fenbendazole, but fenbendazole. It has a lubricated tip for my entry pleasure. I don't need no rheumatologist telling me what to put in my rectum that I can buy at a veterinary clinic for pennies on the dollar. I have a friend, 68 of them actually, who went to a veterinary store where we all picked these up, and they all got bird flu. But 2 of them died. They just didn't get, the problem was they didn't get home in time enough to stick this up their butt and go, okay.
So many effects from the bird flu, particularly look at this on egg prices. Back at the beginning of
God damn, I hate these assholes.
December, eggs were $3.93 a gallon.
They were. Wow, that's a lot. You could get a gallon of eggs. That's a lot of eggs. That's way more than
5 eggs.
All right. $3.93 a gallon. Okay, sure. Is that with or without the shells? How do you get them in the tank? Just thook. What are you doing? Filling up my car. Right now it's cheaper than gas. What an asshole.
Yesterday, a dozen. Now they're
dozen, gallon. What's the difference?
They're $8.11 a dozen.
Thanks, Trump.
Concerns about dairy cows being infected and whether the milk supply is safe. And as we pointed out, 68 cases in 11.
Yeah, especially if you're going to start drinking raw milk, I guess. Unpasteurized milk might be maybe not a. It's not so much a great idea to. All right.
States among human beings with 1 death. What are you thinking about all this?
First of all, I want my egg prices back down again. The eggs are so...
You mean, oh yeah, you mean what they were under Biden while they were managing it and everybody was saying it was far too fucking much?
Healthy, it's in our diets, and now we have to have some limitations on buying them. So what I think is, there's no cause for an alarm to, to panic right now, but we have to be vigilant. With bird flu, there are a few red flags that we have to take into consideration.
Yes, if at any point you start doing this, you might want to check yourself into a cemetery.
One is just the geographic distribution all over the U.S., all over the world. We're seeing it in not just 1 or 2 states. And then it's the duration. It's been ongoing for a little bit too long now.
She's great. They should bring her back. I feel so much safer with her explanation.
We're also the jump from the birds to mammals is another concern. And then finally, this newer case, they had newer mutations. So when you look at...
It's like they took the people that are on MSNBC that talk about these things, that know what the fuck they're talking about, and they mixed them with the and also Iraq girl. Bless her heart.
All of this as a whole, it does concern me for the potential for a pandemic. And so we have to be...
I don't know if I can get through this one. Now you give it. Now you're worried about a fucking pandemic. Now that's the concern. Now that's a real thing. Now pandemics are a real thing. There's a chance that one of these things could, you motherfuckers. Okay. Yeah. Democrats bring that up all last year, and suddenly it's a fucking conspiracy with the World Economic Forum to depopulate the fucking earth. And now it's just like, I don't know if you've heard anything about this whole fucking chicken thing. Jesus.
Just, exert some caution. How do we do that? Obviously, hand washing is so important, right?
Absolutely. Hand wash your eggs. I do. I really do.
we have to do that. I think that, I was thinking about petting zoos, which we take our...
Who doesn't? Yeah. Big thing at the petting zoo is chickens. Yeah. Gotta love the, like, I mean, it really wouldn't be a petting zoo without chickens.
kids there, maybe avoiding petting zoos for a few.
Fuck you. Oh my God. Fuck. This is your answer. This is your fucking eggs are gonna be fucking $15 a dozen, and this asshole is like, maybe avoid petting zoos. Fucking shut the fuck up. What the fuck? Fucking shit. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose my. I'm gonna snap. This is just. That's your advice. Okay. Hey, New York. Avoid petting zoos for a while. LA, San Francisco, Washington. Yeah. Just call ahead if you're going to a petting zoo in the middle of winter and ask them if they've got fucking chickens or not. Motherfucker. Avoid petting zoos right now. You don't want your kid be, patient zero.
Weeks or a few months. Obviously, farmers have.
Yeah, you mean during winter? Probably not a big. I don't know what the fucking tourist season on petting zoos is, but probably right now, probably not. Fucking February. Want to go pet the animals with gloves on? Sure, it's not quite the same thing. Jesus.
Have to use protective clothing when they're in contact.
Yes, and always wear rubber gloves when you go to a petting zoo. You won't look like a freak at all. What are you doing? Just practicing safe pet.
Contact with these animals, and then avoiding raw milk. Yeah. I think that.
Oh, God damn it! Fox News. Okay. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. This is so good. Can you? Because here's the thing. You and I were watching this, and we're like, "What a bunch of assholes," and whatever. But you know that they're like, a big portion of like RFK maggots who are like, what? Just leaping off their fucking trailer couch right now going, bullshit, that'll save you right from the cow's tit. Just nyop, nyop, nyop.
Unpasteurized milk, unpasteurized cheeses, that's actually.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's so good, isn't it? It's so good.
Actually very dangerous. And
okay. These amazing. This is fucking amazing. This is, you know what I think is gonna happen, and this, don't quote me on this because it would take a fucking miracle, but I swear to God, the actual responsibility for human life is gonna turn a bunch of Republicans into Democrats. They're not going to rename themselves. They're not going to be honest about it, but they're going to start asking like for the same protections and like creating the same systems that existed that Democrats always advocate for. But they're like, oh shit, we might want to need to give some more funding to the FDA. Make sure we have plenty of inspectors. Like, you think? I mean, this sounds like if you took a regular middle of the day segment on MSNBC and hit everybody on the panel in the head with a 2x4 and then said, go.
And the flu shot, I was going to mention this.
Oh! All right, now, you're kidding. What the? It just doesn't stop, does it? It just doesn't stop. These motherfuckers. What? What? All right, Jesus. Okay. This is insane. This is fucking amazing.
It's not going to directly prevent bird flu, but let's say you get the flu and simultaneously you're co-infected with bird flu. Well,
this is high math on Fox News. I don't know if they're going to be able to grasp this. Okay, wouldn't the American flu kick the shit out of that bird flu, man? Know what I'm saying? Like I get the American flu. American flu killing everything since 2025. And then just fucking American flu just chokes the chicken flu. The bird, never mind.
what happens is these viruses love to play with one another and they shuffle. And what happens is the bird flu virus will develop the mutations that it needs to spread from human to human. If that happens, that's potentially the start of a pandemic.
I'm not worried about my lung capacity buckling. I'm just getting the bird flu shuffling. My name is Chicken. I'm finger licking. I make you sicken. Leave you at the store. Don't drink raw milk, or your people of your ilk will get so sick that they'll die like Diamond.
5 eggs.
All right.
We want to avoid that.
Well, we saw what happened 5 years ago when a
Fuck you, dude.
virus took on a mutation that made it transmissible among humans. So because of so much respiratory...
I'm sorry. What virus would you be talking about? COVID, you mean? Now it's real. Now it's just real. Now it's real. Okay.
illness, whether it's RSV, whether it's COVID, or whether it's just the flu. The University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, which serves millions of patients.
Yeah, you mean one of those universities that just had its funding cut by the NIH cuts that Elon Musk did, you dumbass?
Has reinstated mask mandates as of today.
That's probably part of their DEI training.
Kind of takes us back to the bad old days of COVID, but is that a prudent thing, do you think, to do?
You know, John, I certainly don't want to see mask mandates back again. I don't think anyone wants to see them. But the reality is we are seeing the...
Oh, but the reality is you can't use that word on Fox. I mean, that's their version of the R word.
highest rates of flu cases in the past 15 years. And I think in the right setting, judiciously, it makes sense. They certainly can't cause any harm. In the health center,
They certainly can't cause any harm. What a difference 3 weeks makes.
and emergency rooms and hospitals, we have a lot of vulnerable populations. We have pregnant patients, cancer patients, patients with heart and lung diseases. And these vulnerable patients, if they do get the infection, then they are at higher risk of developing further complications.
I'm dead serious. Like that's what the responsibility for actually doing these things is just going to turn a bunch of these assholes into Democrats. Like this sounds like a segment right out of any off of CNN or MSNBC, which they think is apocryphal horrors of pandemic control by the World Economic Forum, and Klaus Schwab probably wrote this himself with George Soros giving him notes, right? Shit.
Patients like pneumonia and ICU stays. So in select populations, I think it makes sense. In my practice, I haven't implemented it yet. I don't plan on doing it. I did wear a mask a few weeks ago when I was sick, but I'm leaving that as a voluntary decision for patients.
All right, well, hopefully we won't all be back to wearing masks again. But, in a setting where you have so many sick people and so many vulnerable people on this.
I mean, honestly. They're so close. Yeah, right. Where have I heard this before? All right. This is stunning. Just the blind idiocy of this whole fucking thing. We brought on an expert to tell you guys that masks aren't a bad idea, especially when there's a contagious disease going around and we're worried about a disease that could lead to humans or leap to mammals from another animal, and that could raise the possibility that it spreads through the public, and it's very dangerous, and there could be another pandemic if we're not careful. Like, and again, this story, if it was on MSNBC, like this same network and all of its ancillary barnacle shitheads like Newsmax and all these other sites would run stories for weeks about how they're planning on attacking us again, and the Democrats are, I don't know, coordinating a new pandemic to undermine Trump's America First policies. On the one hand, I gotta say, it is very, it's reassuring to see that these folks are acting like adults. The hypocrisy of it, we put that aside for a second. I find it totally disgusting and ridiculous. But that they're doing it and that maybe their ears are open to the idea is extraordinary. We'll see if they get trounced for it. They probably will, at least on social media. But I bet a bunch of the old folks that watch Fox News are like, holy fuck, I'm going to die. Yeah, CSL, right, truly amazing. Facts will smack you in the fucking head. They can't avoid reality forever and survive. I know. Incredible that these guys are like suddenly like, hey, maybe there's something to this whole like illnesses spread thing. No shit, assholes. Mask up if you're around somebody in your family that's got a respiratory disease, even if they're not aware of it. You know, the ones that smoke, those are the ones that you could kill with the flu. Stupid. If you want them to live, I guess maybe this is your passive way of getting rid of an annoying relative. But good Lord. Ugh, it's just so stupid. All right, now, speaking of just so stupid, Trump did a presser, I think before he had his, he signed in, maybe before Modi and after he signed in RFK or something like that. But he was supposed to, if you'll recall, he's going to have a press conference and read a big list of 200 things that they found that are, shocking, right? Remember that shit? Nope. Didn't see it. Maybe he does it in this one. This is the most recent one. Let's crack on this stuff. A lot of it's the same blather, but.
I should to speak yet, please. Right? Okay. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you are meeting Prime Minister Modi of India this afternoon. What kind of trade and tariff relations would you like to have with India, and what's the vision for India in this?
Yeah, India traditionally is the highest, just about the highest tariff country. They charge more tariffs than any other country. And, I mean, we'll be talking.
Gee, it might have to do with the fact that while they have a reasonably large economy, they have well over 1 billion people, and a lot of them live in poverty. And what little industries they have could be swamped by outsiders who have already industrialized at a level that, per capita would wipe out most of their industry. It's just a thought.
Talking about that, but again, whatever they charge us, we're charging them. So it works
sorry,
out
it's low.
very well. It's a beautiful, simple system. And we don't have to worry about, we're charging too much or too little. But traditionally, India is right at the top of the pack, pretty much. There are a couple of smaller countries that are actually more. But India is a they charge tremendous tariffs. I remember when Harley-Davidson couldn't sell their motorbikes into India because of the fact that India, the tax was so high, the tariff was so high. And Harley was forced to build, I guess they built, I don't know, that was a while ago.
Sorry, there's a giant Harley industry in India? I guess there could be. That'd be hilarious.
But I think they built a... Oh,
sorry. Yeah, I apologize. Where's my... I got it. You know what? We do have to fix this. I owe you guys. I apologize. My mistake. Yeah. Get out of here, you jerk. Open up, you weird thing. I need my image files. Let's see. Okay, what's happening? Give me 1 second. Huh. My my file thing on the PC won't let me find where my files are. Why is that? Okay, hold on one second. Going back to you guys while I fix this. Oy. Let's see. Okay, there we go. And we'll go back up to here. And this goes to deals and assets. And then go to, where's the, it'll be down here somewhere, I think. Looking for it. One moment. All right, because you guys deserve it, so I'll find it. Hold on. I'll just do this. There we go. Whoops, I don't want to put it in here yet. We'll go back to this one. There we go. And we'll bring this in. I apologize. I should have put it there before. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll add it to the, oops, sorry, cancel on here. Add it to the sources on here because I think, you know, this is one of the things you just can't let go in these cases. It's a reality. And people should have the ability, you know, I'm not a big believer in trigger warnings, but this is a special case. Trump's nunt is indeed the stuff of nightmares. And I'd hate you guys to lose sleep over this. Sometime, yeah. Anyway, so let me, all right, we'll move on and consider yourself warned.
Factory in India in order to avoid paying the tariffs. And that's what people can do with us. They can build a factory here, a plant or whatever it might be here.
So you're thinking Harley Davidson can build a factory here to avoid tariffs in India, or maybe Indian motorcycles, which is wait, does he think, oh shit, does he think Indian motorcycles come from India? Oh shit, I'm fairly certain that's true. If somebody asked him right now, I guarantee he would go, it's a shame that Indian motorcycles can't be made in the United States. I bet you anything. Oh my God.
Here, and that includes the medical, that includes cars, that includes chips and semiconductors.
Great. So we're going to have Indian cars here. Cool. We're going to big market for Indian cars here in the United States.
That includes everything. If you build here, you have no tariffs whatsoever. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think our country is going to be flooded with.
Also, real quick, hold on. What if they don't make anything coming our way that matches what we send their way? What if they just have a tariff on vehicles because they have other vehicles or they make stuff there, but their stuff is shit, but it's cheaper and it's made there, but we have no interest in having it here. I'm trying to think what is the, India's got to have a fucking car, right? They've got to have like, I remember, let's see, India car company something. There was one a few years ago. Yeah, Tata, that's what it was. Yeah, the Tata. This the other. Let's see if they got. There you go. There you go. These are the big cars they sell. It's a chill car. Man, that is some AI, buddy. Also, apparently the Indians have not caught on. Maybe when he talks to Modi later on, he can tell him that windmills cause cancer, and they, you know, this might be why all the whales are beaching themselves in India. Is all the Dutch windmills in the background. But yeah, it's the Tiago is a chill car. The the Tiago, which is comes in several. It comes in Supernova, which is an off brown. Daytona Gray, which is from Daytona, India, of course, if you know that. Pristine White, until you drive it off the lot, and then it starts to get dirty, of course. Tornado Blue, which is how people in Kansas feel after a bad weather thing. Arizona Blue. Arizona Blue sounds like a ballad. The Ultras. Okay, cool. The Tigor. They all. Is this the same car over and over? I got it. Why are you rename? Why? These all look models of the same car. The Punch looks like just a Mini. Looks like their take on a Mini. And the no compromise SUV, unless you count size, capacity, rear space behind the. That looks like a lot of compromises, mostly for gas mileage, I think. The Nexon. There you go. It's a very macho, futuristic name. It's cute. The Harrier, which does not take off from the ground. It is not a VTOL. Don't try it, kids. We are warriors. We are Harriers. Okay. The new Safari beats the old Safari, which, obviously it claw marks on the outside. Schedule a test drive. I'm going to have to schedule it very far in the future. But these are this is the Indian car companies. And I don't know if there's I would look up India. Well, I guess whatever. Let's look up an India motorcycle company in India. Bajaj, the famous. Okay, Honda's very big there, so apparently they sell them there. Lot of scooters, lots of scooters. Okay, the biggest ones in India, according to Next What Business, I don't know what the fuck this is Hero. World's largest two-wheel maker, because it's in India. It's an Indian brand, so it's the world's largest because it's almost their entire market, I guess. Where is this? Hold on. Hero, Hero Moto. Waiting for the page to come. Okay, here it is. They're made out of wood. Okay, this is their showroom. Lots of scooters, lots of scooter-esque. A lot of it wouldn't be surprising. They have a lot of motocross. The Vida, which is apparently uses the Indian word Vida, which means loco. No, $115,000. It's an electric scooter. That's adorable. Okay, cool. And there's their crossover bike. They're kind of, whatever, make the most. Hey, high five. That's so not exactly a lot of like bobbers or, lowrider motorcycles. Not a lot of choppers. Maybe that's the market problem.
Jobs.
What should consumers expect? Are prices going to go up short-term,
Well,
long-term?
not necessarily. Not necessarily, but I'll
Necessarily.
tell you what will go up is jobs. The job.
Right, and with it will go, I guess, prices as well. What do you mean jobs? We're almost at maximum employment, thanks, Joe Biden.
Jobs will go up tremendously. We're going to have great jobs for everybody.
Yeah. Some people will have 4 because the job they had before pays a quarter of what it does now.
This is something that should have been done many years ago. China did it. China did it at a level that probably nobody's ever seen before.
Or really, a level that nobody's ever seen before? You should trademark that phrase. A level that nobody's ever seen before? Really? I think it's a level that people have seen before. Also, it didn't work out. It's shit. You know what they did at a level nobody's ever seen before? Let's see. Piles of bicycles. China. Okay. Yeah. They did the bicycle sharing thing where you can sign up and get a bicycle at one of those little things like you have around the cities in the States. And San Francisco has a lot of them, whatever. You take a bike out, you park it and whatever. Yeah, China tried to do that. Here's what they did. There it is. See that? See what that is? See that? That's it. That's just a big fucking bicycle graveyard. That's what that is. That's at a level no one's ever seen before. I would argue Yes, that's a level no one's ever seen before. That's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Also, maybe, hey, asshole, while you're at it, why don't you tell us how few deaths they had in China from COVID? Aren't those bikes stolen from here? No, they're not. And it's a fucking shame. Like, I swear to God, somebody should just go over there and go, hey, we'll take these bikes off your hands and just fucking, like, gather them up. Hand them out in the third world, right? Why are they rotting? Just dumb. There you go. Let's see. How about this? You want to see something else they've also done? There you go. Here's what they did at a level nobody's ever seen before. There you go. China's abandoned obsolete electric cars are piling up in cities. This is all from their car sharing thing that they were going to do, where you wonder how they became the biggest producer of electric cars in the world. Well, here's how you do it: you make a car in a factory, and then you pretend to sell it to someone. You assign it to somebody who doesn't exist, and then you park it in a fucking field, and that goes on its sales figures. And in the rest of the world, looking at your investment levels, they go, oh shit, they're selling all these cars. And the government subsidized all of it. So they just made them and tossed them and made them and tossed them, and that's it. There you go. Yeah, at a level no one's ever seen before. It's fucking brilliant.
If you manufactured a car, you couldn't send it into China. The tariff was so high, so everybody went.
Well, yeah, but they also are like up to their fucking nuts in useless cars. Not only are they making too many because they're subsidized and they just kind of just pretend to sell them to create artificial market dominance, which is what the Chinese government is doing. But also, most of the people there can't afford them anyways. Even with their, quote, growing middle class that was expanding very quickly, it contracted just as fast as it expanded. Now you got all these people who are effectively middle class. We're like going to be programmers and shit like that, which is where China pushed all of its people for a while. It was like that whole learn to code bullshit you heard on Twitter. That's certainly dropped off, hasn't it? Well, they prepared an entire generation to do precisely that, and then it evaporated in a matter of weeks because of AI. Those folks are all moving back to the fucking agrarian farms that their grandparents live on and are fucking tilling soil, dead soil, I might add.
Then they built in China. It was no big secret. So we're going to see, but it's going to mean tremendous amounts of jobs, and ultimately prices will.
Doing what? Doing what? What are they going to do? Work in an automated car plant that has produces the car capacity of the highest producing factory in America in the 80s or 90s, but has 16 people working in it?
Will stay the same, go down, but we're going to have a very dynamic country.
But if prices go
Based on what? Honest to God, this is beyond magical thinking. He's talking out of his ass, and he's saying this in response to how are you going to bring prices down? I don't have to bring prices down. People are going to be so rich they're just going to be chucking money everywhere. Well, that's how you drive prices up, fuckwad. That's what causes actual inflation. Jesus. And by the way, can I just say, he's clearly not enjoying this part of it, and it's not going away. Nothing he's doing is going to fix this. Nothing.
Mr. President, because of these tariffs, who do you think voters should hold responsible?
Oh, I think what's going to go up is jobs are going to go up, and prices.
Jobs are going to go up. They're going to go up. They're going to, whatever. I don't know what it used to work in a store, or in a auto plant. You're going to be replaced, and the one job you can still get is cleaning windows on a skyscraper, I guess, because we don't have a robot that can do that yet. Go up.
Could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down.
Why? Why? Again, these are just like blanket assertions.
And I think the farmers are going to be helped by this very much because product is being dumped into our country, and our farmers are getting hurt very badly by the last administration. The last administration hated our farmers, like
What?
at a level that I've never seen before.
Motherfucker, you can't pass a farm bill. What are you talking about?
I think our farmers are going to be helped. Jobs are going to be helped, but our farmers are going to be helped. Our manufacturers are going to be helped.
Yeah, our farmers are going to have to get another job, I think. Is that the idea?
And again, if somebody wants to come in, including the car companies, if they want to come in and build car plants, they'll do it without tariffs, and therefore prices won't go up. There could be some short-term disturbance, but long-term, it's gonna make our country a fortune.
So Americans should.
Again, what are they going to do? Bring you're going to tariff if somebody buys an Indian car, like a Tata vehicle, right? What if nobody wants one, right? You're not going to be able to force them to buy our vehicles if nobody in the United States wants their vehicles at all, right? To even have a reciprocal trade in that circumstance, you would have to go, hey, like Germany. There's an element of, you could argue this with Germany. Germany's got BMW, it's got Volkswagen and all that, and we've got Fords and stuff, and they protect their market share by selling into the United States. Well, never mind the fact that a lot of them are made here anyways, and that's been the thing for a very long time. The rules about these kind of tariffs have been around for a long time. But if you're arguing like, okay, they need to buy American cars because they're just as good as these cars, and you guys need to go back and forth. Okay. But in the case of India, we don't want their cars. There's nothing to be had from in terms of that. And what are you going to do? Raise the prices of like aspirin and antibiotics that are being made in India as we shift from buying them from China and India starts producing them? You're going to raise tariffs on medical shit just to force feed them Harley Davidsons? Dude is fucking clueless. And people need to remind him of this every goddamn day. This has got to be an irritant because it's not going to go away and it has nothing to do with the last administration.
Prepare for some short-term pain.
No, you said that. I didn't say that. You know?
Well, if the prices go up.
Let's see what happens. Nobody really knows what is going to happen other
It's already happening, stupid.
than we know the jobs are going to be produced at levels that we haven't seen before.
No, you don't. Where? What, it's at such a small level nobody's ever seen it before where it doesn't even fucking chart? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what he means.
We know that...
Oh, you do? You know it, do you? Hey, well then, you should have a list on your desk of the sectors, right? Hold on. Hard is go there. Hold on. I don't know, Quesadilla. You're conflating two ideas into one. They're unrelated.
We think interest rates are going to ultimately be coming down.
Why? You know what's missing from this whole conversation is because we think interest rates are going to be coming down because we're doing this, and this. That actually relate to those things in the past. They've actually worked that way because reality kicks in.
Of things that happen, and they go hand in hand with the tariffs. But we think that the prices for some things, many things, it could be all things, will go down. Ultimately, will go down.
The price for all things will go down. Here's the thing. Like, how does Maria Bartiromo or anybody who watches her stupid fucking show watch this and not go, oh my God, he's a fucking moron? This is ridiculous. He's not being asked gotcha questions. These are standard questions that are simply like, how do you know what you're doing is going to work? And it doesn't seem to be working. It's never worked before, so why would it work now? Like that's not a nasty question from a reporter from a failed organization. It's a valid question. You know how they say there's no such thing as a stupid question? That's not true. There's no such thing as a dumb question because if you're dumb, every question has value because you just don't know. Stupid questions are when you ask and you already know the answer and you want to hear it said out loud or it doesn't need to be asked, I suppose. But in this particular case, he calls everything like these people like stupid, when in reality he's dumb. He doesn't understand the nature of the question.
Yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain the timeline here, sir? There's a period of time for a review, a report, 180 days. What's the earliest date that you think tariffs will actually be implemented and executed?
Well, I would say, maybe I'll ask Howard to answer that, because he's going to be the one that's implementing. What do you think?
Our studies should be all complete by April 1st. So we'll hand
That's a trustworthy day.
the president the opportunity to start
To say April Fools.
on April 2nd if he wants. So I think we'll be ready to go
Pretty
on
close.
April 1st, and we'll hand it to the president, and he'll make.
Wait, hold on. You're going to implement the rest of these things on April 1st. So everybody's going to stare down the barrel of this like it's going to work like magic concept. Is that where they're coming from? Hold on. Because he obviously did the Canada and Mexico ones and then pulled them off, and the Colombia thing, like the guy was like, don't use a fucking military plane when you're flying assholes into my country, and they did, and then that was that. But but these are real actual tariffs that aren't just a bluff or whatever.
We'll hand the president the opportunity to start on April 2nd if he wants. So I think we'll be ready.
If he wants. This year. So April 2nd, they're going to have their reports ready. Which tariffs, when, where, and how much, and all that kind of stuff. And on April 2nd, he can come in to work that day after golfing all fucking weekend or whatever, and then just sign the pieces of paper they put in front of him while he pretends to know what the fuck he's talking about.
To go
Pretty
on April
close.
1st, and we'll hand it to the president, and he'll make his decisions. But remember, if they drop their tariffs, prices for Americans are coming down.
Yeah, but their industries will lose money, so they have them in there for a reason. There might be negotiations around the margins of them, but this idea that you're just going to fucking step on them with a big wet foot because we have an enormous economy and they don't, it's completely unfair. It wouldn't balance out. It would gut their systems, and they'd be better off just finding other places to sell their shit to.
Our production's going up, and our costs are going down. Remember,
Based on what? You're not going to implement a bunch of fucking tariffs and then production's going to just jump in on foreign goods we don't make here for no particular reason, or even the elements that we make American goods with that are made in other places. Don't get me wrong. If I'd love to open a factory that makes electronic components. I bug Rob Glenn about this all the fucking time, but it's not at this point. It's not practical, and it wouldn't be profitable for half a decade. Which means the only way you could do it is like how Tesla got off its ass, which was essentially giant government subsidies. Trump and his fucking commies.
it's a two-way street. That's why it's called reciprocal.
And have you spoken to any American CEOs directly about this? Are they calling you and asking
I've
for
spoken to many,
exemptions?
and many love it. And they say this is going to be the thing that makes our country really prosperous again. And this is going to be what pays down to $36 trillion in debt and all the other things. And this is going to be, this is an amazing day. I think this is going to be a very big day and in a very positive way for our country. Yes, please.
Mr. President.
Sorry, why would today be big if you're just announcing that they're going to give you a list April 1st that you may or may not sign on the fucking 2nd? Why is today a big deal? Jesus.
You talked about the VAT and the EU before and your concerns with how the EU treats you. Do you have a number in mind on the European Union? Do you have an idea where that number is going to land?
Well, what they are now is they have a 20% VAT tax, which we're considering to be similar or the same as the tariff. Plus, they charge lots of fees, and they're doing something else. European Union's been very tough on our companies
because they don't let you dump certain toxins into the country because they have better food standards than we do, which RFK has been arguing for, and now they're going to try to implement in the United States, which will also drive up food prices. I mean, look at it this way. Milk prices might go down after all the raw milk drinkers die, and there's a lot of leftover milk in the pasteurized aisle.
They sued Apple, they sued Google, they sued Facebook, they sued many other companies, and they're American companies, and the kind of numbers are staggering. And the court system over there is not very good to our companies. If you know that Apple had to pay, I think, $16 billion in a penalty.
You mean our first $1 trillion company? Apple, a $1 trillion company? And sorry, they had to pay $18 billion in a fine across the entire EU. $18 billion? Drop that much run for the fucking bus.
A court case that was really shocking because most people thought they would have won that court case.
Oh yeah, what was the court case? Tell them the details. What was the details? Here, shit, I'll look it up for you. Hold on, let's see. Apple EU fined, I don't know, 16 billion, was it? 18 billion? Okay. Multi-billion, Europe's top court just delivered multi-billion-dollar blows to, okay, this is the, to Apple and Google. Okay, Apple has lost its fight to dodge a it's taxes. Apple has lost its fight to dodge a $13 billion tax bill following a ruling by Europe's top court, which dealt a blow to the world's most valuable company just a day after the iPhone maker unveiled a host of product upgrades to boost sales. European Court of Justice has upheld a $2.4 billion antitrust fine against Google in a separate decision. Really? You don't think they... I would assume that if you're suing one company over a tax dodge, you would just throw in the antitrust stuff for a totally unrelated company. The two ECJ rulings are final, which means the companies cannot appeal them. The decisions highlight the European Union's tough stance on big tech, but in recent years has extended to enact sweeping regulations to curb the power of major tech companies. And rulings against Apple, they upheld a 2016 decision by the European Commission which found that Ireland had granted Apple unlawful state aid that it was required to recover. According to estimates by the EU's executive arm, Ireland had given Apple illegal tax benefits worth $13 billion, which is just allowing them to hide and not pay taxes by putting their headquarters there. According to Alex Hafner, a competition partner at London-based firm Fladgate, Apple will now have to forego $13 billion that it kept in an escrow account pending the outcome of the case. Perhaps more relevance, in more sense that, again, the EU authorities and courts are prepared to flex their muscles to bring big tech to heel where necessary. The tax case against Apple was part of a crackdown by EU's now outgoing antitrust chief Margaret Vestager, who on deals between multinationals and EU countries that regulators saw as unfair state aid. Commission said, so the tax... They got sued over taxes they were dodging by putting their headquarters artificially in Ireland. It's part of the same thing that the United States pushed back on. And as far as the Google antitrust, let's see what the Google antitrust thing was. Imposed on Google for abuse in its dominant position by favoring its own comparison shopping service. 2017, the Commission imposed a fine of approximately $2.4 billion on Google after having abused its dominant position on several national online search markets by favoring its own comparison shopping service over those of its competitors. After the General Court essentially upheld the decision and maintained that fine, Google and Alphabet lodged an appeal, and they lost. By decision, June 27, 2017, the Commission found that 13 countries of the European Union area, Google had given preference on its general search result pages to the results of its own comparison shopping service over those of competing comparison shopping services. Google had thus represented, its own search results are going to give it, if it's comparison shopping, that is its service. It's a little fucked up, but it's still... Compared to what they're making, it's a fucking pittance. And this was, okay, they challenged the court's decision, largely dismissed the action, in particular upheld the fine. By contrast, the General Court did not consider it proven that Google's practice had even potentially anti-competitive effects on the market for general search services. Consequently, it annulled the Commission's decision insofar as the Commission had also found an infringement of the prohibition of abuse of a dominant position in respect to that market. So it did, like, Google could still be dominant, but its little search results thing at the top favored their algorithm that may have if you could buy your way to the top of that list, it cut out other people. All right. Fucking yawn.
People that watched it. So they've been very tough. Airlines have called me up and they said, could you help us with Europe? Because
Really? How did it sound when the airline called you up? Did they go, hold on. Hello, this is Mr. President. Yes, this is your captain speaking. I was wondering if you don't mind if you could do something about the EU. If you look out the right side of the plane, you'll see the European Union, which is charging us a shit ton of money, and we're not getting a lot of it back. So that would be great. And I want to remind you we're going to hit some bumpy air as we come ahead, largely caused by your stupid fucking tariffs. Did that work? Did my voice change? I was trying something. I can't hear it when it works, but all right. Anyways, where are we?
they're charging us so many different fees. I got a call from the head of American, United, and other airlines saying every time we land a plane, we get just absolutely killed by the
Really? I wouldn't fly there anymore. It sounds dangerous.
European Union. And so they haven't been treated as good. You know, we think the European Union is wonderful. We all love Europe. Love the countries in Europe. But European Union has been absolutely brutal on trade. Canada's been very bad to us on trade, but now Canada's going to have to start paying up. And Canada's been tough on the military because they have a very low military cost. They think we're going to, protect them with our military, which is unfair. So Canada's going to be.
Also, what the fuck? What? Oh, obviously, if they get invaded, dickwad, we get invaded next. Like, do you want a foreign country staging in Canada? They got their entire country is bigger than ours, and they have a smaller GDP than California. It's like a quarter of California's, you dumbass. If they get invaded and taken over, we're next. What are you talking about? It is cheaper for us to protect them, stupid. They couldn't possibly spend enough money with the size of their economy to protect themselves enough to protect us, shithead.
Very interesting situation because
you're stupid? Because you don't understand how anything works and this is just dumb?
We just don't need their product. And yet they survive off the fact that we do 95% of what they do.
We do 95% of what they do.
And Canada is just absolutely, I say it, and sometimes people smile and sometimes they say, great idea, but.
Yeah, I did both. Great idea. Way to go, stupid. What do you think? Say 51st state again. Hold on. Wait. Where is this thing? Give me that. Yeah, you son of a dag doodle. Yeah. Just in case. Say 51st state again, motherfucker. You dumbass. Bring in Greenland while you're at it. Say 51st state again, stupid. You know what? They're not just going to be the 51st state. They're going to be the 52nd and the 53rd. They're too big to be one fucking state, dummy. So you'll give Democrats 3 more states. That'll zero out your favorability in the northern part of the country, stupid. And all of those states are going to want national health care.
Canada, their taxes would come down greatly.
Why would their taxes come down? Because 51st state? And they wouldn't have national health care, would they? Their health care costs would go through the fucking roof. Say 51st state again.
Security would go up greatly. Amazing things happen to Canada. And really Canada in this particular, why would we pay $200 billion a year in subsidies to Canada?
We're not subsidizing them, you dumb motherfucker. We just buy more from them than they sell. They're tiny.
Canada when they're not a state. You do that for a state, but you don't do that for somebody else's country.
How stupid? That's stupid. That kind of stupid. Like big fucking stupid. For a state. Shut the fuck up.
So I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
Yeah, and the 52nd and the 53rd. I'm all for it, man. 3 new blue states. Get ready to eat shit, dummy.
Negotiations going with Canada. There was obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have perfect military protection. They don't have any military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian
Yeah, you take a look at
ships, you have China ships, you have Chinese ships, you have
China and Chinese ships. Apparently they're different.
a lot of ships out there. And
Yeah, some of them are China, some of them are Chinese. I guess the China ships are all made out of like ceramic.
you know, people are in danger.
But really nice patterns on them though. But we only bring those ships out on special occasions when we have company. Little China ship. Bing, bing, gung, 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 gung. Oh, little China ships.
This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need
A dumber world, a more ridiculous world, a more absurd world, yes.
our protection, yes.
You mentioned Elon Musk and the efforts that he's undertaking with your
Yeah.
authority. You granted him new authority this week. Will he secure any new government contracts while he is working on Doge?
No,
for
not
you?
if there's a conflict. If there's no conflict, I guess what difference does it make? But we won't let him do anything having to do with the conflict.
Are you personally
How will you know?
checking to make sure there's no conflicts of interest?
Yeah, I am.
He answers.
Yeah, I'm checking with him. I call him. Are you not doing any conflicted stuff, are you? And I can't hear you. Quit giggling and answer me. Wait, this isn't even Elon. This is one of his buddies doing an impersonation. Can somebody put Elon on the phone? This is the president. Wait, no, not the vice president. Oh, I see. All right, fuck you.
Sure, he does. First of all, he wouldn't do it. And second of all, we're not going to.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it. First of all, shut up. What are you even asking for? He wouldn't do it. He's just a guy who, did a Nazi salute recently and has been promising his cars would run autonomously for years and never did. And his Cybertruck has got a worse record on collision than the fucking Ford Pinto, which is like the turd standard for bad car design.
Let him do anything where there's a conflict of interest.
And make sure you check after he does it.
Your negotiations with the EU there's discussions ongoing.
Jesus Christ, he has a side nunt now. That's impressive. I'm sorry, I probably should do a dual warning then. That's not good. Like the side, he's got like a trunt. He's got 3 nunts at once. Ugh. Jesus Christ. All right.
Already. How quickly do you expect that you'll hear back from them about
I don't
any
know.
of these other
I can't tell
measures?
you. Yeah, the EU's been very nasty. It's just been they haven't treated us properly. Look, we were
Aww.
great to them on NATO. Essentially, it's a similar group of countries. When I came in, my first term, I raised their fees. They were not paying. We were paying for, in my opinion, almost all of NATO. And now, I had the bad moment with the press where the press said, well, does this mean you won't protect them? And I said, I won't protect them if they're not paying. But because I said that, the Secretary General, as you know, said it was the greatest thing he's ever seen because the money came pouring in. But they don't treat us right on trade. They don't treat us right on the military either. If you look at Ukraine, we're in for probably $200 billion more than Europe. Why are we in?
Okay, we were 150 billion. We're in 250 billion more than they were yesterday. So it's gone down, I guess.
For more than Europe. We're in for more than Europe. Think of it, or NATO.
Yeah, but our money went into the United States. 90% of those funds are spent here. We used it to subsidize the red states.
Let's call it NATO because Canada's in. By the way, Canada is just about the lowest payer also they shouldn't be. They are just about the lowest payer in NATO in addition.
It's because they have one of the smaller economies. Not by percentage, dummy.
And everything else. So Canada's really been taken advantage of. And if they had to pay just something modestly fair, they wouldn't be able to succeed as a country. And that's why.
Well, maybe that's why they have the tariffs, because they would get swallowed up by the bigger economy next door, because they're next door to the world's biggest economy, and they have a lot of land mass, but not a huge population. So maybe that's why. Maybe that makes fucking sense. And maybe they just couldn't possibly buy an equal amount of shit from us that we buy from them because they're too small.
I feel they have to become a state. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is it your expectation?
By the way, this is just fucking blather. This is just him being a dick. Like, it's
that partners will offer major concessions and that you actually don't end up applying those tariffs?
No, I think that a lot of them will stay the same, and whatever they pay, I'll pay. I mean, we'll have a lot of them stay the same. I think some. Look, I heard as an example, EU lowered their tax on cars down to the exact same amount that they were much higher. They were approximately 5 times higher.
He sniffed. Did you see that one?
And they lowered them down to the exact tax that we're charging. That took place like yesterday or the day before. Is that a correct statement? I think so, yeah.
Hold on. Let's see. Let's check in. Hold on. Let's see. EU lowers auto tariffs, U.S. something. 10% is considering lowering its 10% auto trade in order to avert a trade war. Is considering lowering its 10% auto tariff in order. So it's 10%? EU unilateral auto tariff offer to U.S. might shelter its car markets. European auto stock steady after tariff tumult. EU to offer lower tariffs on 6 days ago. Here we go. This is what they're talking about. Whoop, hold on. Except goes in, go away. Oh, it's the fucking Financial Times. I won't be able to read that. Hold on. Let's go to Forbes then. This will show it. This is what he's talking about. EU unilateral auto tariff offer to U.S. might shelter its car makers. The European Union is reportedly ready to slash tariffs on U.S. auto imports to the same level charged on its exports in a move that would generate huge size of relief from investors. This would be especially timely because manufacturers like Porsche are reviving investment in internal combustion engine vehicles as electric car sales falter. The only large market remaining in the world for internal combustion engines is the U.S. So everybody's trying to sell their gas vehicles to us while they sell electric cars everywhere else. To be cut off from that market would be financially disastrous. A former U.S. ambassador to the EU, though, expects the Trump administration to seek huge overall changes to long-term unfair trading, including non-tariff barriers. Currently, the U.S. has a 2.5% tariff on Europe's sedan and SUV imports, while the EU charges U.S. imports 10%. Financial Times said the EU wants to cut tariffs on U.S. auto imports as part of the deal to avoid a trade war. That's so they'll drop it down to 2.5, but it's the limitations on the internal combustion engine cars that are really going to make the difference. Already caused, Trump said he would impose tariffs on goods, and we saw this part. Oxford Group expects the U.S. to impose 25% tariffs on auto imports from the EU, so not quite reciprocal, more than double. This would raise the cost of European cars in the U.S. market, making them significantly less price competitive against American and non-EU alternatives, namely Chinese cars, I suppose. The result a sharp contraction in the EU automotive exports in the U.S. The U.S. and it would be, I guess, it'd be good for Hyundai and Honda and Toyota and those guys. Let's see. In 2023, European car manufacturers exported 56 billion euros worth of vehicles and components, and that's the key part, and components, to the United States, according to 20%, accounting for 20% of the EU's total automotive export value. The primary market for EU-made vehicles. Trump hasn't spelled out it would approach the EU. He's saying 20. He's like whatever 25% is what they've been throwing around. But then they do reciprocal, which is just bring it to 10%, and then that wouldn't have much of an effect. It would just drive up the price of foreign cars here.
Expect any exemptions or waivers?
I don't expect that. No, this is a simple system. I mean, there wouldn't be any. And in the case of Apple, I gave them a waiver, an exemption in my first term because Samsung was in South Korea, and Samsung didn't have to pay the tax because it
Sam's a nice guy, though. I don't know why you would do this to him.
was a tax on China.
You mean Samsung or Samsung? Is there a guy named Samsung that you just got it out for?
And Apple makes a lot of their product in China, so I did that because it wouldn't have been fair. But now this applies to everybody across the board. This is a much simpler way of doing it, much better way.
Did you had that major call yesterday with President Putin of Russia. President Zelensky responded today basically saying any agreements they won't accept unless they're made with Ukraine. Will Ukraine have a seat at that table for those negotiations?
Of course they would. I mean, they're part of it. We would have Ukraine, we'd have Russia, and we'll have other people involved too.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask Modi if he wants to be in on it. I don't know. Who gives a shit?
A lot of people, a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of people. Gary, Samsung. We're going to call Samsung himself. He'll come on in.
Forks in the. A lot of forks in this game. I'll tell you what. This is
There are a lot of forks in this game. It's true. Yeah, it's a big forking game.
a very interesting situation, but the Ukraine war has to end. The young people.
Great. Yeah. But young people dying, bullets only fly across flatland, and they only stop if they hit a young body, and blah blah blah.
People are being killed at levels
Nobody's ever seen before.
that nobody's seen since World War II, and it's a ridiculous war, and it has to end. We had a good talk.
It's ridiculous. Seriously. This war is ridiculous.
Talk with President Putin. I had a good talk with President Zelensky. Very good talk. And somebody said, I should have called Zelensky first. I don't think so. I mean, we have to find out whether or not Russia wants to make a deal. I know that Zelensky wants to make a deal because he told me that. But I now know that Russia wants to make a deal.
Yeah. What are the terms of that deal? I think it's the terms of the deal that kind of matter, you know?
Ask Secretary Hegseth to walk back his comments yesterday saying Ukraine won't join NATO and won't go back to pre-2014 borders because those are bargaining chips you could use?
No, I didn't. Somebody told me to, but I thought his comments were good yesterday, and they're probably good today. They're a little bit softer, perhaps, but I thought his comments.
Yeah, Hegseth met with the NATO guys and got the real news, got like a real briefing, and didn't sound like immediately shifted away from like the campaign style Fox News talking points where these assholes with like half the information play Monday morning quarterback on behalf of the Ukrainians and have been selling this like Biden backing them against the will of the American people horse shit that they've been selling. Suddenly that goes away. Kind of like the lady with like telling everybody to be cautious about bird flu and raw milk all of a sudden.
From yesterday, I thought his comments yesterday were pretty accurate. I don't see any way that a country in Russia's position could allow them, just in their position, could allow them to join NATO. I don't.
Why? Finland did. Finland has a bigger border with Russia. I mean, it's close, but it's bigger.
See that happening. And long before President Putin, Russia was very strong on the fact that I believe that's the reason the war started. Because Biden went out and said that they could join NATO, and he shouldn't have said that. As soon as he said...
Does anybody... Hold on. I don't remember Biden saying they could join NATO and this kicking off afterwards. I think that happened after they attacked. Biden, Ukraine can join NATO. I don't know, like when? Yeah, this was after the fucking war started. The Kiev's bid to join NATO was in its own hands. It's up to them. Biden and Zelensky had a call 2 days after Biden had talks with Putin to try to defuse a crisis over troop movements near Ukraine's borders. Ukraine accuses Russia of massing tens of thousands of troops. Blah, 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 blah. Russia denies planning attack but accuses Ukraine, the United States, of destabilizing behavior, has sought security guarantees against the eastern expansion, blah, blah, blah. President Zelensky said very clearly that any negotiations, any decisions that concern Ukraine cannot be taken without Ukraine, Zelensky's staff, or whatever. Biden said very clearly the decision on Ukraine's accession to NATO is the decision of the Ukrainian people only. This is sovereign and independent Ukrainian state, and it depends on Ukraine and NATO members. Right. So he wasn't saying they could. He's just saying it's up to them.
that, I said, you know what? You're going to have a war now, and I was right about that. This
Yeah, because he told you he was going to attack in your second term, and he just had to pause a year.
is a war that would have never happened if I were president.
How the Minsk agreement? Oh, well, again, the Russians never kept up their side of Minsk. It was always a joke, and it was made without really the Ukrainians having a genuine say in it.
It's President Biden's fault, not President Putin. I mean, he's the one.
I think
who
Biden is incompetent, and I think when he said that they could join NATO, I thought that was a very stupid thing to say. I thought when he said, well, it depends if it's a minor incursion. In other words, it's okay if Russia does a minor incursion. I thought that was a very foolish thing to say.
No, that was just about our response.
When do we expect an auto?
They're not going to be like, that was about Biden saying we're not going to be dragged into a big exchange if all they do is a fake across the line. Effectively, just if they have a false start, as it were.
The other thing that got it started was how badly Milley and these stupid people, bad generals, how badly they did with Afghanistan.
Yeah, I've heard this story a bunch of times. Also bullshit.
I was going to pull out, but we were pulling out with dignity and strength.
I love them. They're Diamond and Silk's friends, right?
And we were going to take our equipment with us and everything else.
Yes, but in a very dignified way, with our pinky up.
They are, I mean, what they're doing is, what they did with that, I think Putin looked at that mess and he said, wow, this is a great time, I'm going to go in. But what the Americans said.
Yeah, but you can see how that was stupid, right? You can see how, if that's true, if Vladimir Putin looked at Afghanistan and went, now's the perfect time, I'll go into Ukraine and I'll take the place in 6 days. He was so fucking wrong that his bigger country not only lost more soldiers than the smaller country, but the smaller country seized land inside of Russia. If he looked at that was Russia's mistake, not something the U.S. He read the room wrong. It didn't turn out to be the case at all that the Afghanistan withdrawal reflected on whether or not he had a good opportunity to go into Ukraine at all. He totally shit the bed. Dude, we're into this for 3 fucking years at this point. If Vladimir Putin looked at Afghanistan and said, look at that shitstorm, now I'm going to go into Ukraine and I'll own this. This is going to be perfect. Then he's a fucking moron. Their plan was to take it in 6 days. 3 years later, they've lost more people than the country they invaded for a salami slice of land while losing some of their own territory. The fuck are you talking about?
I'm not blaming Americans, but I will say what they said had a big influence on his deciding to go in.
Yeah, you are blaming Americans. And his decision to go into Ukraine, if it was based on that, was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
When Elon Musk met with Prime Minister Modi earlier today, did he do so as an American CEO or did he do so as a representative of the U.S. government?
I don't know. He probably went in there to be real president, and I'll go play president later on.
Are you talking about me?
No, Elon.
No, you are not the president. You're the vice president. You're talking about President Musk.
Elon, I don't know. They met, and I assume he wants to do business in India. But India is a very hard place to do business in.
Really? Well, I guess he's gonna. I guess he's screwed then. I don't know what leverage he could possibly have, except you threatening tariffs on them. Maybe he went in and told him, "Hey, I'll put in a good word for you on these certain things if you allow me to build a giga-fucking factory."
Because of the tariffs, they have the highest tariffs just about in the world, and it's a hard place to do business. No, I would imagine he met.
Oh, yeah, you'd imagine. You just imagine. They just were talking about stuff.
Possibly because, he's running a company.
Possibly.
He's doing this as something that he's felt strongly about for a long time because
What, making money in India?
He sees what's happening and he sees how the country is really being hurt badly by all of the fraud, waste and abuse. Yeah.
Huh? What country? India? What is he going to do? Outsource Doge to India now?
I was wondering whether he's meeting with the CEO.
Well, how about this? Maybe he just went to Modi and said, hey, I'll give you some insider information on American tech that I saw when I was in, some, skiff level areas. Trump doesn't seem to mind. He doesn't even fucking know. I could sell you that if you give me a tax-free factory inside your country, or how about this? Give me about a billion bots inside India to make X look like it's actually a functioning entity.
We're meeting with a representative of your government.
Well, he's meeting with me in a little while, so I'm going to ask him that question. All right? I'll ask him that question, yeah.
On auto tariffs, what should we expect, sir? You mentioned obviously steel and aluminum and pharmaceuticals. What are you thinking about auto tariffs? We haven't talked about that much.
I think autos are coming soon. I think they're all coming more or less at the same time. And it's not going to be a big shock to the system. But what it's going to do is it's going to bring pharmaceuticals back to our country. Much more important than the money. It's a lot of money, but it's going to bring pharmaceuticals back to our country. It's going to bring chips back to our country.
Yeah, that's what the Chips and Science Act did already. And Biden already passed. Hold on. Let's see. Biden pharmaceutical manufacturing. We've been through this so many fucking times. He's just riding on top of shit Biden did. And I know there's some maggots in the audience that don't know about this stuff, or were intentionally lied to about this stuff, or it just doesn't fit in their fucking brain because of cognitive dissonance. Under Biden's U.S. biomanufacturing order, HHS and DOD earmark $1 billion for domestic production boost. Part of Joe Biden's wide-ranging executive order to bolster U.S. biomanufacturing, the Department of Health and Human Services has laid out detailed actions that include regulatory support for advanced manufacturing technologies and hefty investments in drug production infrastructure. Collaboration between the Department of Defense and HHS will invest $1 billion in domestic biomanufacturing infrastructure over 5 years. The support will provide incentives that will enable private and public sector partners to expand manufacturing capacity for products important for defense supply chains such as critical chemicals. In separate investment focus on medicine, HHS says it will pour $40 million into expanding biomanufacturing for active pharmaceutical ingredients, antibiotics, and key starting materials for essential medications needed for current or future pandemic responses. The companies themselves can make these things. This is just goose money to build it up. If he wants to add more to the budget for it, he wants to add to that amount, let's fucking hear it. But don't pretend you invented it. As a matter of fact, they froze some of those funds. So this idea that they're just going to magically do it is just dumb.
It's going to bring automobile. We're going to do a lot more automobile manufacturing in our country. You know,
Great. We're going to have a Tata Motors plant in Tennessee now.
I did this, when I announced this during the campaign, they were going to build the largest car plant in the world in Mexico. It was
his buddy was. And then they went, oh, there's already one there.
Almost under construction. It was just starting. And when they heard me make that statement, and they thought I was going to win the election, actually, it was a few months before the election itself. China was building the car plant. It was going to be the largest in the world. They immediately stopped construction.
One moment, please. Let's see. Yeah, this is Yeah. This was a couple of months, right? July 10th, 2024, United States President Joseph R. Biden issued 2 separate proclamations that narrow the exclusion from tariffs imposed under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 for certain steel and aluminum articles imported from Mexico, which includes car manufacturing and where it came from. Biden administration implemented these measures in coordination with the outgoing administration of Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, which recently imposed measures requiring Mexican importers to provide more information to the Mexican government about the country of origin of imported steel products. While the proclamation takes immediate effect, Customs and Border Protection has not yet provided the harmonized tariff schedule for the United States, the HTSUS classifications that will need to be declared for the products that no longer qualify for the tariff exclusions. A couple months later, they passed on those things, and that included Chinese cars made in Mexico. So they shut down the plant because they knew they couldn't make... They couldn't circumvent the tariffs that were already in place. That's why it happened when it happened.
You can see that.
Also, by the way,
the foundations there.
If I may, also... It's hard to know which factory he's talking about because it seems to be a giant fucking fantasy. I showed this before on the network once before, but like, fucking auto plant, where is it? I gotta see if I can find the actual facility. 13 years ago. All right. I played this once before, but I don't know why this page doesn't stretch out. What's happening? Auto plant. There you go. Auto plant. Tour. New. Whatever. Let's see if this is the Audi factory. Yeah, here's a... Shut up. Here you go, real quick. Let me show you this. Kia Motors Mexico manufacturing plant. Turn the music down a little bit because I don't know what it is. Go away. This is the plant. This is the Kia plant in Mexico. It's a grand opening ceremony. This is 8 years ago, at the beginning of Trump. It's almost entirely automated. Since that time, they've even like increased the automotive output of it. One fucking dude. It shows the body shop. There you go. See all those people? We're going to bring all those jobs back to America, everybody. Isn't that nice? This guy's going to have a job. Yeah, you know, this guy, that guy's going to have a job, and this guy and this lady and all these people, all these women up here, all these guys up here. Look at all those people over there. Look, you know what? The jobs in the paint shop are going to be great. The guy, you can't see them. They're underneath the paint. They're down in there, and there's a guy. There's that guy. You can see it on his arm. There you go. There's his hands. There he is. That guy, man, he's got big arms. There you go. There's a couple of jobs. There's a guy buffing, rubbing. There's the last guy. Let me take a peek at that. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, that's the job. The basically the car wash guys. And then there's one guy guiding in a thing. Those guys have since been put out of business, but they'll bring them back when they bring the things here. There's a guy just checking stuff out so they can have a person nearby. At the end, there you go. Since this time, like, they have replaced almost everybody. In the testing thing, like, watch the wheels roll. Quality center, that's where some people actually work, I bet. Yeah, there they go. They all sit around at work gaming out sheets like a high school debate team. Let me see, let me look at this. Yep, finished. We need a bunch of buffer jobs in the United States. There you go, and a Parker job. Amazing. Fucking, yeah, exactly. 9 whole fucking jobs in the whole thing.
They immediately stopped. When they heard I was doing this, that would have destroyed Detroit. It would have.
Also, what the fuck are you talking about? It was like, more than likely because it was your buddy. It was an American company. They were just building the factory over there because you signed a USMCA that allowed them to do it.
Destroyed Michigan. This plant would have taken up more than almost the whole state built.
Almost the whole state built? So the plant in Michigan, sorry, the plant in Mexico would be the size of Michigan. I mean, I don't even know how, like, how do you wrap your fucking head around somebody that stupid? Say that again, stupid? What was this?
Stopped when they heard I was doing this. That would have destroyed Detroit. It would have destroyed Michigan. This plant would have taken up more than almost the whole state built. And it would have been very destructive. When they heard.
Right. Donald Trump thinks that his buddy, who he talked to, was going to build an auto plant the size of Michigan, and then they scrapped it because they were worried about tariffs. They were thinking, he's going to win. Probably shouldn't do it then. Never mind. Fuck me. Please tell me we have a maggot in there. We got to have one on Facebook. Explain this to us all. Here. Maggots, it's your turn. What the ever-loving fuck? Do you actually think he's being ironic? That was just joking? He's just shrugging it off? Or does this asshole actually believe that his buddy was building the biggest auto plant ever, and it's the size of Michigan? Michigan, not Detroit. Michigan, including the UP, I would hope. And again, if Biden said something like this, you would make all kinds of, you smelling fucking burnt toast, almond, you'd make all those fucking lame ass old man Glenn Beck jokes, right? Right? He said state. The size of the state built. Once it was built, I presume, is what he meant by that weird fucking sentence. It would be the size of Michigan. Now, I think we can all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that is fucking stupid. It is morbidly stupid. It is mortifyingly stupid.
Me speak, and they said, "Wow, if he gets in, we're gonna lose our shirt." So they stopped building. That's the impact that tariffs have. Again,
real quick, how many people would have to buy new cars on Earth to make an auto factory the size of Michigan profitable? I mean, I don't know what the fucking floor capacity of the world's largest auto plant is, but I'm going to guess it's less than 6 city blocks. Right? That would be my guess. It'd have to be smaller than that.
You know, I say it, and I say it loudly. It's the most beautiful word, but now I say religion, love, and a couple of other things are more beautiful, because I got in a lot of problem with the fake news when they said, other things are more important. God is more important, but these are the words.
God, religion, love, are they any different? Do I even know what any of those words mean? They're just words to me, so who cares about the order, because none of them mean anything. They're all just things I like to say. They're on a list.
But I would say it's number 4 or 5. To me, it's the most beautiful. And I'll tell you what, I think really reciprocal tariffs, those 2 words.
It is, that is true. That is, reciprocal tariffs is 2 words, I will say. Look, when I can't argue with the truth, I will admit when he's right about something. And that is indeed, those 2 words are actually 2 words. They are. So, points you.
Reciprocal makes tariffs really fair.
Well, depends on, I guess, what version of reciprocity they're based on?
There'd be no exemptions, right? It would be all auto imports?
Any exemptions now, because you don't need to. With reciprocal, you don't need to.
Mr. President, has Gavin Klager just arrived at the IRS?
Fox Radio. Do you have a update on?
Oh, Fox Radio. Okay. Well, this will be a soft pitch.
The TikTok negotiations?
Yeah, we have a lot of people.
Timeline's running out, isn't it?
Sure, well, I have 90 days from about 2 weeks ago, right? And I'm sure it can be extended, but let's see. I don't think
Yeah, you just keep extending it as long as China tells you to.
you'll need to. We have a lot of people interested in TikTok, and I hope to be able to make a deal. I think it would be good. You know, people have learned it's very popular.
Jeez. Well, you know what? You know what's also popular apparently? Fentanyl. Yeah. It's in spite of itself, it's kicking other drugs' ass all over the place. It's very popular with a certain group of people, and those people, a lot of people make a lot of money on fentanyl. A lot of people, you know, they pay for their house with the fentanyl, and a lot of people like to use the fentanyl until they stop suddenly. That's weird. But, you know, hey, it's, you know, a lot of people enjoy it till they don't.
And we'll have to probably get approval from China.
Probably. Really? You'll get, are you gonna, I'm sorry, you're gonna ask Xi Jinping permission? Hold on. The maggots, again, you're gonna have to explain this shit to me. Gather in. Trump apparently needs permission from China to what? Continue the existence of TikTok in the country? Or sell it? Or buy it? So you're admitting that China owns it, that it's not a private company that's got a product they could sell to anybody else. You'd have to get permission from the Chinese government because they are the major stakeholder in it. And you guys are cool with that. We're supposed to fucking panic about the stupid ass balloon that got shot down, but this motherfucker is just going to have, I mean, TikTok is a fucking spy balloon, dummy. The only difference is it's not flying over you and you can block it. It's in your goddamn phone. And this motherfucker's like, we'll probably have to ask, I'll have to beg Xi Jinping to let me sell it to somebody. Jesus Christ. And you guys are all right with this? Fuck is wrong with you?
To do it, but we have a lot of people that are interested, and a lot of people, I think China will be interested because it's to their benefit too.
Why? Why would it be to their benefit? What, you mean just the cash for selling it? Fuck are you talking about? Why would they want to lose the ability to manipulate the American electorate, stupid? What are you basically saying? You had to sell it to somebody, but we'll let you keep a backdoor to the algorithm and you can run it on the down low. They'll have access. You can control the algorithm from China. You just sell the outer part of the fucking thing. Good Lord.
So I look forward to that. But we have a lot of people that are interested in TikTok, quite a few.
Mr. President,
yeah, but the algorithm isn't for sale. So TikTok without the algorithm is fucking Vine. Make your own.
Those workers arrived today, Gavin Klager and others arrived today at the IRS. Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it, but I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing.
What do you mean, looking at everybody's private information?
And you know that force is building these. I call it the force of super geniuses. But
really, you call it the force of super geniuses? Please fucking tell me that's in a memo somewhere. And look, all right, I'm kidding. I know he just made it up. He's calling it now that he floats these things, and I call it this, and he sees if it takes off, and then he starts doing it or whatever. But he doesn't call them the force of super geniuses. And if he does, it's fucking embarrassing. That's cringe as shit.
It's building, and you know they go up and they.
Hold on, 1 second. Oh, yeah. Somebody was asking about Trump saying he wants to cut military funding in half in the United States. No, he doesn't. It's dumber than that. He wants the U.S., China, and Russia to cut military spending in half. Yeah, after you. Yeah, that'll happen. Jesus Christ, Russia's on a war footing right now. War's the only thing they spend anything on right now. What are they going to do? Shift to fucking washing machines? And then this great thing about Russia is everyone looks to us for the toy to have for Christmas season. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. What's he going to do? Take the lead? The hell out of here. Stop. This is as dumb as the 51st state shit.
Talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk because these people get it. They're very smart people. We need smart people. Yes. Brian?
Well, I think they get tongue-tied because they never expected they have to explain why you don't want kids starving to death to someone asking that. You can't be like, wait a minute, that's a serious question? You're really asking me that? Fuck is wrong with you? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't get tongue-tied in that moment, but I can understand how a career diplomat or somebody working in the State Department or in USAID it would take them a moment to answer a question like that.
On tariffs, sir.
Yeah, Brian?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, I know that during the campaign, it was huge
It's Marjorie Taylor Greene's squeeze.
in Pennsylvania as far as bringing back manufacturing. Have we talked to any
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, we're gonna build a car factory the size of Michigan in Pennsylvania.
CEOs since the tariffs were announced on steel and aluminum? What's the feedback from those guys?
They are in love with it. As you know, in Pennsylvania, U.S. Steel is through the roof. They're all through the roof. That's why I didn't want.
They're all through the roof. Let's see. Hold on. U.S. Steel. They're all through the roof. Hold on. Whoops. Sorry. Let's see. Sorry, real quick. Let's see if they're through the roof. U.S. Steel seesaws, as Trump suggests, no need to sell the steelmaker. U.S. Steel seesawed and fell as much as 1.9% after President Donald Trump suggested tariffs will save the steel company, and it doesn't need to do a deal with Nippon Steel. I think U.S. Steel right now has all the power, Trump said in a briefing with reporters on Thursday. According to Bloomberg account, the tariffs have given the U.S. Steel a new lease on life, which sent the stock down 2%. Trump declined to repeat his comments from last week that he would help negotiate a Nippon Steel investment in U.S. Steel. Because they're not doing it. He said was considering investing, but won't purchase the entire company. They agreed to invest heavily in U.S. Steel as opposed to own it, and that sounds very exciting. Nippon Steel is considering a bold change in plans from its previous approach of seeking to buy U.S. Steel. Japan's cabinet secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi said on Monday, according to Reuters. Yeah, it's not through the roof. It's down 2 points, but whatever.
U.S. Steel to make a deal with Japan or anybody else. I think it's going to do great. But
yeah, it's gonna have to make a deal as it's not profitable right now. So we got to
I think maybe more than anybody else, the steel companies and aluminum companies, they're in love with what's happened. And this will eventually be the car companies and chip companies. We have to have chips made in this country. Right now, everything's made in Taiwan practically.
No, it isn't. We have like 9 chip fabs opening in Arizona, dipshit. He's going to take credit for them. This is, by the way, all this is language where he tees up the fact that he's going to be at the ribbon cuttings for these factories that Biden funded. Just get used to the idea.
Almost all of it, a little bit in South Korea, but everything, almost all of it is made in Taiwan.
No, it isn't. Sorry. Where are all the North American semiconductor fabs being built? 2024 edition. The push for semiconductor manufacturing fabs in North America remains strong in 2024. I forget who was president in 2024. You'll have to remind me. In this article, we look at where the fabs are being built, who's building them, and what advantages they offer to the electronics industry. Blah, 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 blah. The Chips and Science Act, a big boost to the U.S. semiconductor manufacturing industry. Who'd have thought? An overview to semiconductor fabrication development. New semiconductor fabs by region. Asia, North America, Europe. Look at North America kicking some stuff way over Europe. Asia's always have they shuffling them around. Semiconductor fabs expansion by region. There's Asia. Here's North America. 23, 24. Expansion. That's the addition. North American semiconductor fabs by owner. Samsung. Oh, Sam, we love you. Look at that, Sam. You're building a fucking semiconductor factory right here in the country. TSMC. There you go. Texas Instruments, Micron, Intel. Menlo, Microchip Technology, Rogue Valley, Wolfspeed, and Global Foundries. Here's another one. Texas, Arizona, New York, Ohio. Thanks, Joe Biden. Why choose Arizona and Texas for semiconductor manufacturing? 300 days of sunshine each year, offering ample opportunities for solar energy. Low seismic activity due to lack of fault lines in the area. Lack of major natural disasters such as hurricanes and floods. Naturally isolated by its natural geographical features. Okay. What types of technologies will be produced at these fabs? Fab 21. TSMC's new fab will produce 4 nanometer and 5 nanometer node logic chips. Listen to me. Just the tip. Just the chip, folks. Fab 21 and 2, this fab expansion by TSMC will produce 3 nanometer logic chips. And then Fab 21 and 3, this fab expansion will produce 2 nanometer logic chips. MEMS, sensors, DRAM, logic chips. What's the timeline? 24 plus fabs currently under construction in the United States have a wide range of completion dates that span from 2024 to 2042. The majority of the fabs are scheduled to be complete and in production by 2030. All started, there you go. Arizona, Fab 52, Fab 62, Fab 21-1, Fab 21-2, Fab 21-3. That's in Arizona. That's a big one. Idaho, the Boise Fab, Micron. It's going to be completed in 2026, and they're going to make RAM. They're going to make good old-fashioned RAM. Thanks to Joe Biden's Chips and Science Act. How about the Ohio fabs? All those new Intel jobs in Ohio. Thanks, Joe Biden. They're doing 10 nanometer. Those it's not as big a deal. But they'll do the stuff that ends up in toys. That Ohio fab in Columbus, Oregon. How about that? The Gresham fab. Look at that. And they're making development type new. 70 manufacturer Gresham injection that will help the company triple its U.S. output. This is an expansion in an already existing one. Texas, the Taylor Fab, 1 of 10. That's making the really small ones. That'll be 2023 to 2042. I guess they started on it in 2023, and they're going to be the longest. 2025, the Sherman Fab, Texas Instruments. I mean, it should be in Texas, one would think. Logic chips, there we go. How about New York, the Clay Fab? Which is great because the remake of Ghost is going to be so goddamn sexy. Fab 8.2 in Malta, New York. The Massey Fab. That's fun to say. From Wolfspeed, that's in Marcy, New York. How about Florida with the Palm Bay Fab, soon to be underwater. The Lehigh Fab in Utah. There you go. So I expect as those are built, this dipshit will be there to go, finally, we're bringing American manufacturing back to America. You're welcome. If he doesn't fuck up the process and the funding gets killed because of his stupid pauses and they have to, there's a bunch of workarounds.
And we want it to be made. We want those companies to come to our country in all due respect, All
right, then why didn't the Republicans all vote for the Chips and Science Act? It was bipartisan largely, but why did your followers specifically vote against it?
They took the business away. Taiwan took our chip business away. We had Intel, we had these great companies that did so well, and it was taken from us, and we want that business back. We want it back.
Intel's here. They just outsourced their fabrication there.
In the United States. And If they don't bring it back, we're not going to be very happy.
And you
Sir, on
mentioned
tariffs, are you-
pharmaceuticals as well in China. That's national security to bring that back.
Yeah, China and other places. We want to get
At other places.
the pharmaceutical and drug business back into the United States, where it should be, right?
Sir,
Donnie, please.
on tariffs, are you concerned that the countries that would be most affected, like India, would just shift their trading to China?
No, I'm not concerned about anything, really. I mean, I'm just doing what's fair. This is a very fair thing. This should have been done a long time ago. I would have done it, but then COVID hit. I was getting...
I was totally going to do it. I think I need this one really bad. Hold on.
The fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah, hold on.
The fuck up, Donnie. The fuck up, Donnie.
I don't know why it doesn't. Hi. How are you? No. Still, hold. One moment. I'll have some in just a moment. I'll be along in just one moment after I'm done with this dipshit. Okay. Summer made dinner, so sorry.
Ready to do this years ago, and first time we had the most successful economy in history, and then COVID hit.
Nope. Sorry, Biden trounced yours even with the inflation. Hold on. Why is that not? Should there should be a Lebowski soundboard, shouldn't there?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
There we go. That's what I need. There we go. Oh, yeah. Get out of here.
And this was going to be the thing that I was most waiting to do, but it was awfully hard to do this with Italy and France and Spain, and all those people were dying, and then we put tariffs on.
While people are dying.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Oh my God.
I have a big heart.
What?
With Italy and France and Spain, and all those people were dying, and then we put tariffs on. I have a big heart.
Sir, on Ukraine, when Putin says that he really...
Wait a minute. Like, all those people were dying and you put tariffs on them because you have a big heart.
He wants peace. Do you believe him?
Yeah, I do. I believe he wants peace. I believe...
I definitely, he wants peace. I could tell by how his knuckle bent in my rectum.
That President Putin, when I spoke to him yesterday, I mean, I know him very well. Yeah, I think he wants peace. I think he would tell me if he didn't.
Why? Why do you think that? What is that based on, other than your own fantastical horseshit? The fuck out of here. Oh my God. Let me see. Hold on. I want to add something to it. I know my dinner's getting cold. I know. There we go. Let's see. We'll go to here, and we'll go to this one. We'll add this here, and I feel like it should go here. Yeah. Let's go play audio. There you go. And then take this file, move it to where? It should go to, yeah, put it in there. And put that in there, and take this one and put it, whoops, here, place, there we go. See if it works. Hold on, just check.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
It does work. There you go. Now I got a permanent button. Excellent.
I'd like to see peace.
Do you trust President
I
Putin?
believe that, I believe that he would like to see something happen. I trust him on this subject. I think he'd like to see something happen. I think it could have happened a long time ago. I think Biden, number one, it shouldn't have started, but it did. And now all those cities are knocked down. like demolition sites. All those beautiful golden towers are knocked down. There's
What golden fucking towers is he talking about? He brings this up again and again. Does he think the Kremlin was bombed?
nothing going to replace them. But much more importantly, you lost millions of people. A lot of soldiers, but you lost millions of people. When they knocked down those cities and they're all laying down on the side, they're lying down just in ashes and all crumbled up concrete. They literally look like a world-class demolition site. And
hey, asshole, they look like a war zone. World-class demolition site. A world-class demolition site wouldn't have any rubble. It had been cleared by the world-class workers after they imploded the building, I suppose. It looks like a war zone because it fucking is, you dumbass.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
many of them, almost all of them, but many of them, and this should have been done by Biden years ago. This should have never been allowed to happen. I know he's a friend of
What should have been done? What, give Russia whatever the fuck they want for murdering and raping a bunch of people?
yours.
But couldn't Putin just withdraw his
He's a friend of
troops today?
CNN. That's why nobody watches CNN anymore, because they have no credibility. Okay, who else? Yes.
By the way, her follow-up question was, couldn't Putin just leave, basically?
Sir, if you can find a buyer in the United States for TikTok, do you think Xi Jinping will authorize the sale of it, or will he?
I'm going to make it worthwhile for China to do it. I think so. I mean, I got to know TikTok because during the election, I ended up with 36% higher than my opponent with youth. Okay, that never happened before. I beat, you know, that's always been a Democrat thing, youth. It became a Trump thing. And I think TikTok, I think Joe
Yeah, Tic Tac's a big part of it.
Rogan was a part of it. Some of the great people that I did interviews with were a part of it. But I think that TikTok was a
TikTok, it doesn't matter.
I think it was a big part. Look, as you know, we were up by 36% with youth. The Republican was never up with youth. And I focused on
You mean thank you, China, for rigging the election for me? That's what this sounds like. It's a threat, but as long as the threat benefits you, Jesus.
TikTok, and I found it to be amazing, actually, and very fair. And I think the
Amazing and very fair. Why? Because you won?
The image of TikTok is different than it was before the election. I think people saw
No. You were just lying about it before.
and they view it as a positive, not a negative. I think it'll be to China's advantage to have the deal be made. Yeah.
What deal, motherfucker? Again, TikTok without the algorithm is fucking Vine. You could just start your own.
How much money do you think you'll raise from tariffs on an annual basis?
Oh, numbers, yeah.
That's the most interesting question. I think
Yeah, it requires knowledge of facts and an awareness of the reality.
it'll be a staggering amount.
All right, that's good. Let me write that down. Is that 2 zeros or a stagger? Not. You're sure it's not 2 staggering amounts? Maybe why not? You know what? Fuck it. I'll just put down 15 staggering amounts.
It will be the external. I call it the External Revenue Service. That was a name that was devised by a few of us, but it's. I think it's going to be a staggering amount.
So that's a staggering amount plus another staggering amount. That's two staggering amounts. Okay.
We've heard the number 1 trillion floated in meetings with senators. Is that a number you've thought of?
I don't know, but already the Senate's saying, well, wait a minute. You know, they're looking at some of the numbers and they're saying, whoa, this is. Look, we want to. I say America first. I say make America great again. That's what we're doing. This is. I think it's the most important thing I've signed. I've signed some very important things. Right to try was so important. I mean, a lot of important things. Space Force, the
Yeah. So fuck you and your grocery bullshit.
biggest tax cuts in history. You know, this could be one of the most important things that we've ever signed.
Do you expect the Russians and President Putin to attend the summit in Saudi Arabia?
Eventually, yeah. Not quite yet. It's a little early. They're having a meeting in Munich tomorrow. Russia is going to be there with our people. Ukraine is also invited, by the way. Not sure exactly who's going to be there from any country, but high level.
For any country, maybe, I don't know, somebody from Munich, .org.
People from Russia, from Ukraine, and from the United States.
Do you want to have Russia back
High-level people.
to the
Top men.
G7, sir?
I'd love to have them back. I think it was a mistake to throw them out. Look, it's not a question of liking Russia or not liking Russia. It was the G8. And you know, I said, what are you doing? You guys, all you talk about is Russia, and they should be sitting at the table.
No. Again, this goes to like, look, you want to talk about big industries in the United States? Fentanyl is a big industry. Whatever, I don't know if you don't like it, you guys don't want to deal with it, but illicit drugs, gambling, human trafficking, these are huge, huge parts of the economy, and the cartels should have a seat at the table. That's what he's saying. I'm over it. My girlfriend made me dinner, so I'm going to bug out. But we're not going to learn anything from this. You'll notice he went nowhere near that list of 200 things that he was going to, unleash. He was going to, remember, he was going to have a press conference today. Maybe we'll have one tomorrow. I don't think so. But maybe he will. Who knows? And I will gladly tap dance on its fucking grave. But in the meantime, this turned out to be just another blather fest where he could distract everybody with his whole 51st state horse shit. But saying Russia deserves to be in the G8 is like saying the cartels are an integral part of the U.S. economy and they deserve a seat at the table. No, they don't. Fuck you. Eat shit. Piss off. Other than that, I have no opinion. And finally, to him, we all say together,
shut the fuck up, Donnie.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and I've got to play music because my thing is, I'll remedy that at some point. Oh, and to everybody on Rumble, both of you, give me a thumbs down. Get really mad at the show. I think that'll help. Yeah, I mean, I know I have more real human viewers than Bongholio does, but don't let him know. It'll make him mad. I mean, he's only got two emotions, mad and wuss out, but thanks for the salty bonus, JD Christie. I got a fever that only the cupcake can cure. I gotta have more cupcake. Hit that like, everybody, unless you're a maggot, in which case give me a thumbs down. And make sure you write something, because it really helps us in the algorithm. You absolute wuss. You know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. I'm reading what you wrote. And I appreciate it. Thank you for being so weak. Come on, you can do it. Write something else. Keep writing. Type fast. Show's almost over. Write something in here, you maggot. You can do it. It's not my fault your guy's so stupid. All right.